What is going on, everybody? Dylan Thacker here. This is the official first episode of Ironman Prep. Today, what I want to do is kind of walk you through all of the gear that I'm going to be using through training, through actual race day, recovery, all this stuff. So we're kind of just going to break it down in terms of the actual race itself. So we'll start with swim, go on to the bike, and then we'll get to the running stuff. Let's start with the swim. The first thing that I have is a pair of goggles. Obviously, we gotta be wearing these so that we don't get water in our eyes. That's basic knowledge. Another thing that I have is these, which are like training paddles. They go on your hand. I actually have to take out this bottom one, so I'm just gonna be using like the finger part. But it's basically just supposed to kind of help build up those muscles. Pretty much just help me go a little bit farther in my swims now while I'm kind of getting adjusted, because the swim is definitely where I am lacking the most. So that's where I need the most help, and these are a great aid. Another big thing that I'm going to be using for training is a pool buoy. This kind of just goes between your legs, and it'll hold your lower half closer to the top of the water, just because when I'm actually in the race, it'll be open water. So obviously it's not like you're gonna be able to touch the bottom or just stop if you get tired. But the wetsuit is supposed to kind of help you be a little more buoyant and just hold you towards the top of the water. So this will simulate that so that I'm used to my legs being up the whole time. Because if I just swim without them, my legs get tired and I start to sink over time, and that's just not something that is going to be realistic during race day. So I want to train as close to actual race day conditions and feeling as possible. Moving on to the bike, I have these specialized bike shoes. I have a Trek road bike, which I'll show you in a minute. But these here, I had to get and put on separately so that I know they clip into my pedals, and they're what I am going to be using all throughout training and during race day. I feel like a biking shoe is so much different than a running shoe because it really just, it has like more longevity, I guess, because you're not putting a pounding on them the same way that I would when I'm training for a big marathon type distance on my running shoes. I have to go through multiple pairs of training shoes just during that. Even for my marathon, I only did a 3-month block and I had to switch out my shoes multiple times. So yeah, specialized bike shoes. Got this pump here. So I think this one speaks for itself. It is to pump up my bike tires, because odds are I'm gonna get a flat or something. I have, actually, I'll show you. So this stand pump is going to be good for before I go out for a ride or when I get back, just making sure my tires are pumped up. But I bought my bike used off of Facebook Marketplace. Shout out to them, because I was not prepared for this financial endeavor I am at right now. This is just fucking blowing me out of the water. But the guy who sold to me actually had this kit and extra tubes, so these will be good just to have like with me. I'll get like either like a little pack for my bike or just like a little pack that I can wear on my back, so that I have a CO2 pump for if anything happens while I'm on like one of my longer rides, because I do have like, I'll have some 50-mile rides during this training. So I just always want to be prepared while I'm out there, because that would be horrible, especially like where I'm going to be riding at is going to be through the mountains of Denver, and it's not like you can get a car to you all the time, so I could be hiking it if anything were to happen and I didn't have these. Here she is. This is the bike that I will be doing all of my training on, and what I will be using in Florida for the Ironman itself. It is a Trek road bike. It is an Alpha 1.5. As I said, it is used. I got it on Facebook Marketplace, but I really like this one because it's already got these aero bars, so I don't have to put those on. It came with the clip-in pedals, so I didn't have to get those as well. So I already had a couple modifications to it, and it was stuff that I was going to have to add anyway, so being able to get it all and have it for this cheaper price was really awesome, and what sold me on it. It's also got a little GPS, so it's like a mileage tracker here, and that will come in handy when I finally get outside. I do have an indoor trainer, and that's what I'll be using for now until it warms up. On to the running portion. I am sticking with the Saucony Endorphin series. This was just a really awesome shoe throughout my training. It actually wasn't going to be my race day shoe. I was going to switch over to the Pegasuses, Nikes, which I showed you in a past video, but I just didn't like the way they felt. I think my feet adapt to these better, and I think that they just have an overall better support, and just, I don't know, it's just what I prefer. So this is what I'm going to be running in again. These are actually the ones that I just ran the marathon in. I really hadn't put many miles on them before, so I'm going to use them for probably another month or so of training just while I build up. And then, honestly, there's not a ton of stuff right now that I have to show you for running. Obviously, I have my shorts and stuff like that, which I already have. But I did just pick up this Garmin heart rate monitor, which will be a chest strap. I obviously have been using this, which is the Garmin Forerunner 945. And it's really good for checking distances and stuff like that, but the heart rate can get off, and that's something that I'm going to be doing a lot of zone training, so I need to know an accurate heart rate. And so picking this up will just help me do that and know that I'm training effectively and really building up my aerobic base for this Ironman. Another thing that is going to be huge is going to be recovery. This is a lot of different types of cardio, and my body is going to take a beating, especially because I'm strength training like 4 days a week as well. I really want to try to hold on to size, and if I can, put some more on. But in order to do that, I need to make sure that I'm resting, recovering, all this stuff effectively, because I don't want to, one, overtrain, or two, really push myself too far and hurt myself. So I have been dealing with a lingering pain in my right knee from the marathon still, and I'm about 2 weeks post-marathon, but I've just started getting back into some smaller miles, some 3-mile runs, and that's when I really notice it. I think it's just kind of like my IT band. My joints just been acting up. So I've been doing a lot of stretches with these resistance bands. These are just Elite FTS, pretty basic bands. I have a couple of them, a couple different widths, different resistance strengths, so I definitely utilize those. Another thing that I use in like daily recovery is one of these. It's not a Theragun, but it's a massage gun. It's the same principle, but just a little bit cheaper model. My parents got me this for my birthday a few years ago, and I pretty much use it every day. If you're training for any kind of endurance event, if you're active at all, you need to get one of these because it's a fucking game changer. I can say the same thing about this bad boy. This is a foam roller, and it's something that I've utilized pretty much for the past 3 to 5 years, somewhere in there. I honestly don't remember, but it is critical for me to just roll out those tight areas, make sure that I stay loose, and it really helps me after long runs or even before long runs. It's just however you want to do it, before or after. I do it both sometimes. It just kind of depends how my body's feeling. And that is really the most important thing, is really listening to your body and giving it exactly what it needs. Now, let's get into recovery and sustainability from a nutrition standpoint. While I'm not going to break down like my entire nutrition, I will do that in another video for you, kind of give you like day in the life where you can see what I'm eating, my calorie breakdown, all that kind of stuff. That will be coming during this series, but this is more for like my actual endurance training, what I'm going to be taking. So fuel really is what it is, what I'm going to be fueling with. So like always, Bear Performance Nutrition's G1M Sport. This thing, I can't say enough good things about it. One scoop is going to be 20 grams of carbs, 350 milligrams of sodium, and a full electrolyte profile. I'll usually take at least a scoop before I go out. And then if it's going to be a longer event, I'll throw a scoop or two per water bottle that I have on me. And that's just to make sure that I'm staying, number one, hydrated, but that I'm having enough things that are going to be able to propel me through. Another thing that I really like to utilize are honey stingers. This is just pretty much like carbs, fats, just another way to really get something in my body and keep me moving. I used to use goos all the time, gels, and they sit in my stomach way heavier, and they just kind of fuck with my digestion. And I noticed that I start to cramp up, or I have to go to the bathroom when I'm doing these longer endurance events, and I don't have that problem with honey stingers. So this is the route that I'm going to go. I'm going to completely eliminate goos, gels, whatever from my fueling, and really just focus on these two staples. That about wraps it up for this episode of Ironman training. I really just wanted to give you a breakdown of everything that I'll be using throughout this. And as I bring in more things or start to utilize more tools, I will show you them as well. I'm about to be completely transparent through this entire process. This is really my way of kind of showing you all what this is going to take, what this entails, talk to you about my mindset, everything, because I'll be honest, it's already kind of getting to me. Like, it's a lot of training, and it's things that I'm not used to. Swimming is super tough, and I know that it's only going to get harder because the race itself is going to be in open water. So that just takes it to a whole nother level. But I'm super excited to train, and I'm excited to bring you all along for the ride. So subscribe to the channel, leave a comment and a like below, turn on your notifications, and these will be coming at you every single Wednesday. Also, be sure to check out Desire to Inspire on YouTube. I'll drop the link below. It's TOO for 2. And that is going to be my personal training brand. And my partner, Durf, and I will be dropping podcasts on there every single Friday. And we have all kinds of content on Twitter and Instagram as well. So hit all these links in this little description here. And yeah, just follow along for the ride and let's get it.